All right, here we go. We are playing against the Taipei Skywalkers here on the road today. As you can see, only our fans have bothered to show up as usual. And we actually have Nene starting up there at front. Lingwanda is back in the defensive midfielder role, but Nene is going to be up there at front. This is kind of like, the last dance, the last chance. But really, I mean, even if he has a good performance, I'm not going to keep him on the team. We're going to get rid of him. And the reason why, of course, is because Nene can't score. He has made that abundantly clear over the last few games. So we'll see what happens here. We have the ball to lead things off, and Cai Yuting passes all the way back to Li Chaba over to Huang Chirwei, and he'll pull it up, goes up to Cai Yuting again, and he's back to Li Chaba. So we're still having a hard time figuring out a way to crack through the defenses. Lingwanda back to Liu Chunjie, up to Feng Xiaoqu, over to Lingwanda, up to Chen Chengju. There we go, slowly but surely. And there's the pass up to Nene. I told Nene I need a good performance from him, and that was at least a somewhat positive contribution by him, so we'll give him that. And that ball has gone out. Here's Menegong now with the free kick, and Hong Wei-xiang, the keeper, is able to knock that one out, and over for a corner. Menegong again. He reaches back and goes up and fires, and it's over to Huang Chirwei, and unfortunately his header is not quite on target, and so it is still 0-0. We'll take another look at that. Not much to see here, of course. They called it a clear-cut chance. It really wasn't a clear-cut chance. I don't know how Sports Interactive defined clear-cut chance, but sometimes they get it right, sometimes they get it way wrong. Still over to Chen Chengju, and Nene's way offside. Way offside. Chen Chengju ends up bringing that one up, doing exactly what you're supposed to do as the segundo volante. And Nene, if he was looking to get the ball there, he needs to learn how to play the offside rule. I can tell that he's excited. Right before the match, I told him I needed to see a good performance from him. But, I mean, you can see how far up he is and how far offside he is the whole time. I mean, what is he doing? What does he think he's doing, right? You've got to play back a little bit more. You can't just run up in front of everybody and expect good things to happen, right? If the ball gets to you, you'll be flagged for offside. So, I mean, he appears to be inspired so far in this match, but I'd like to see some more inspiration from him. And more time ticks off the clock without a score. And so let's see what we can do here. Lingwanda wins that header in midfield over to Ndaya, to Silla, now to Menegong, and he's looking for Nene, and it was a pretty poor pass from Menegong. I'll give him that. That was an attempt by Liu Chunjie to clear that one, and he just wasn't able to clear it all the way, and this is knocked up and forward, and Cai Yuting has it over to Feng Xiaoqu. Past two other defenders to get to Feng Xiaoqu. Interesting pass. Silla over to Menegong. What's he going to do here? Over to Chen Chengju, down to Silla, and there is the pass over to Ndaya, and he is fouled. That's a really harsh call for a penalty. It's going to be our man in the back, I think, again, to take this one. No, it's actually Nene who takes this one, and he scores, fortunately for him, and that makes this 1-0 for Mars FC, and he finally gets his goal. He hasn't scored for many minutes, and I mean, is not just in danger of being kicked off of the squad. He will be kicked off of the squad. I mean, we're not going to play with him for much longer. We're not going to have him around, kicking around Mars FC, because he just can't score goals. Not with any sort of consistency. Hopefully that'll wake him up, though. We want him to score a little bit so that, at least in theory, we could get some money for him. I know that it's crass commercialism, crass capitalism to do that, but we kind of would like to get some money for this guy instead of just releasing him and forgetting that he ever played for us. And this is really bad. That was really bad by our defense. Li Chaba did what he needed to do, and he was a little bit slow in getting there. And we should not be tied 1-1 with this team. We should be winning. We should be dominating this match. I could see here there was a complete defensive breakdown. There's absolutely nobody. Liu Chunjie is way out of position. And I'm not quite sure who he was guarding or what he was trying to do. He's sort of standing there with his hands in his pockets. So Li Chaba, though, ends up taking the brunt of that one, has now a 6.3 rating. That's what happens when you have a sweeper keeper sometimes, right? And after giving up all those goals in the match before, you got to really wonder about him. That was Nene with an immediate response and trying to get another one forward, and that's just knocked out by their keeper. So, I mean, I don't know what's happening, but whatever it is not pretty. Menegong with it, and they're not calling him offside, though I'm pretty sure he was. Cai Yuting over to Liu Chunjie, over to Nene, back to Cai Yuting again, up to Silla, and we reset, and that's the end of that highlight. So not really too much to see here. There's really not much of a clear-cut chance. I mean, we can take another look at this here, I suppose. Nene was onside, and it was a good position to be in, but he, instead of like trying to put that into the back of the net, he ends up just hitting it right back at the keeper. So, I mean, I don't know what it is, if it's mental or what's going on, but something must be bothering him. There is that pass forward for Ndiaye, and he's going to shoot, and that was a really good save by the keeper. That was actually worth the price of admission, I would say, right there. Here now, Menegon 1-1 the score, and I mean, we shouldn't have any matches with these teams be 1-1. This is ridiculous. Menegon over to Feng Xiaochi, and that is a great goal. First, I think, of his career for us. Yes, his first goal for us. And that was an absolute wonder blast from the far side of the area. I don't know if I remember seeing him even take a shot in the past. I mean, but look at what he does with this. Brings it down, and he says, okay, I'll take this. And it goes in, and there's no doubt about it. And it is 2-1 for Mars FC. And this is a little bit more like it. This is more like what we were expecting to see. Now we have to prevent them from scoring again. We don't want this to become a good, close match. We want to make this into a laughter. We definitely don't want anything like what we had yesterday. That was pretty frustrating. Chen Chengju over to Menegon. Menegon with this, knocks this up and over for who? And yeah, not very well done. Silla now with it. Over to Menegon again. This looks a little bit more promising. Menegon with the ball. We've just dominated the momentum as usual. Over to Nene, and that trickles in. That's Hong Wei Xiang. It's almost an own goal is really what that should be counted as, and that makes this 3-1 for Mars FC. And right on the brink of halftime, might I add, this was pretty well played again by Menegon, getting over to that corner, launches up that cross, and then Nene had a little bit of help, I would say, from the keeper, who kind of knocked that one backwards. It was a poor performance from him. After all those good stops that he's made, that one just trickled on through, and it's 3-1 now for Mars FC, and this is a little bit more like what I was expecting. The ball ends up going forward. Menegon grabs that one and knocks this one up to nobody once again. What we are accustomed to seeing from this team. Taiyu team with it. Knocks this over for Nene, and he can't get to it. And we've got a problem again. Here's Menegon with it, going back and showing why he's the best defender in the country. And that's Leach Haba showing why he drives me nuts at goal. And what is this that we're trying to do? I guess that was deflected at the last minute. I'm not quite sure what Nene was trying to do with that one. We need him to explode that into the net. And this is knocked out for another corner. And so we'll see what we can do with this. Menegon going to take this corner again. And let's see what happens here. So kind of a slow-moving first half here. A lot of highlights. And that is up and out, and will end up being a bunch of nothing. And so we'll move on. 2 goals here for Nene, who is kind of having his swan song for us. I mean, he'll be around for a couple more matches, but I'm not starting him in any big ones. He'll play in the smaller matches, and then we'll figure out what to do. We'll try to get our young kid, Hu Shichan, up to the point where he can actually perform in the first team. And hopefully, if we have some good luck, he'll be our next big star. Menegon knocks this one up and forward for Liu Chunjie, whose header is a little bit too high. And that's the second attempt that he's had at a header on a corner. He's getting better and better the more that we play with him. I like the look of that kid, but I don't like the look of this. And fortunately for us, Kai Yuting's shot ends up being over everybody's head, and nothing to worry about. Huang Chuwei now with it over to Chen Chengju, over to Lin Guanda, back to Cai Yuting. Cai Yuting with the ball now, all sorts of space to work with. Over to Menegon, now to Silla. Look at all the space that Silla has. Man, nobody even close to him, and that's over to Nene, who's offside. And Chen Chengju ends up shooting and scoring, and the flag stays down. So Chen Chengju ends up with a goal finally. I noticed that he didn't explode on that one. Maybe he really should be the Segundo Volante. Nene was offside, no question about that. And that was a good pass, though, from him, a good teamwork, and Chen Chengju is able to score the easy goal. We need to do that more often. 4-1 for Mars FC. If we could keep doing that sort of thing, we never lose, right? We win every match, but unfortunately, we tend to forget about that, and then we have guys who decide to blast the ball from the area and do all sorts of wild and weird stuff. Nene tries to head that one back and ends up turning into nothing. This is Menegon going back to grab that again. Menegon has done that so many times here. That ball forward to Nene, he tries to head back, ends up getting to nobody, and now we are on the back foot, and Ko Yuting's behind the defense. And I'm not sure I fully understand what happened there, but it's now 4-2. Ko Yuting here does an excellent job at getting behind everybody, and there it is. There's an argument that he was probably offside. Once he had himself behind the defense, so there's not much that Leach Haba could do. There really is not much that he could do. I mean, he could stay back and he was going to score anyway. So there you have it. 4-2 now is what the lead is. I know the game will tell me that he shouldn't be playing as a sweeper keeper, but I still think that that's the thing that works best in our system. I think we might need to think about getting a different keeper, honestly. Liu Chunjie over to Feng Xiaoqi. Excellent. Over to Nene, and he's looking for that hat trick and just can't quite find it. Feng Xiaoqi probably having the best game of his career here for us. And this game just continues and continues and continues. The header is there by Menegong. And we still have about 30 minutes to play, so we'll see what we can do. They are coming back. Our defenses are really, really weak, which is why I'm thinking we need to get some Kader Bamba action. And, Lichaba shouldn't be going out on that one, and it's always dangerous to pass it back to him, and I'm not sure what the idea is. Why are we trying to knock it back to nobody? We need to slow it down, get possession, and rethink our strategy here a little bit. So really, really scary moment that we were fortunately able to get past, and here comes another one, it looks like, and Lichaba is able to use his hands this time and able to grab that one and haul it in, and now pass over to Huang Churwei. Huang Churwei with a lumps of forward again for Nene, over to Chen Chengju, now to Lingguanda, to Ndaye, Lingguanda, back and over to Menegong. Menegong now up to Lingguanda, and he takes a shot from the area. See, he's the defensive midfielder. He needs to stay back, right, and not necessarily be in that position. That's the other guy who's supposed to be doing that. We have all sorts of problems with this over and over again, right? Guys who forget what it is exactly they're supposed to be doing. And here's Dubois, and oh man, that was a very good job by Liu Chunjie to knock that one out for a throw. And this is becoming more and more precarious as we move along. I need to get this hurried up because I have a meeting in like 2 minutes. So hopefully this match won't last too much longer. This is always the trick when you have Football Manager and you can't really control how fast or how slow the game's going. I mean, we could get rid of a whole bunch of highlights, but we don't want to do that. We don't want to miss out. And Nene's header, unfortunately, is intercepted. Cai Yuting, though, goes over and grabs that ball, and that's a forward pass to Ndaye, who scores easily. 5-2 for Mars FC. Number 10 of the season for Ndaye, and he will probably end up being our leading scorer again this year. And the game just continues. So my meeting, unfortunately, either I'm going to have to pause this or I'm going to have to pause that. I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen. Ndaye here with the ball once again, and takes a shot from range, and that one hits off of the edge of the net, and this one is launched forward again, and Ndaye over to Nene, over to Silla, to Chen Chengju, and over to Lingguanda. What is Chen Chengju doing? He needs to go forward, not backward. And Lingguanda was surprised to see the ball, and I don't really blame him because I'm thinking, what was that? What kind of plan was that you had? And that leads to a counterattack, of course. And so we still have some problems. I would say some problems there in midfield, some problems getting control, and so on and so forth. And I got to make sure that my phone is on here, as I'm kind of expecting a call here in the next couple of seconds. So we'll see what happens. We'll hold on with this as long as we possibly can. Menegong here with a free kick, and yeah, this is the way that it works, man. You end up feeling like, oh yeah, sometimes this game will give you, a full game in like 5 minutes, and sometimes it will give you one that lasts about 20, and this looks like it's one that's going to last about 20, and we were really close at giving up another goal there. We're really having some problems in defense. We got to come up with some sort of change. I don't know what we can do because we don't have a transfer window for another month. So it's going to be interesting to see what we do to try to figure this out. And I'm going to have to pause this here for a sec. All right, guys, sorry about that little break. We'll go ahead and continue our game here. So, and of course, as soon as we continue it, that's the full-time whistle. So there you go. Kind of an odd way to stop the video. We end up here with a 3.87 XG, and we win this match, of course, 5-2, 60% of the possession and everything. So things are looking pretty good so far, I would say. I still do have to wonder a little bit, though, about Nene, who, he wound up with 2 goals today. But I get this feeling, considering how bad the Taipei Skywalkers are, that even though he gets the player of the match, that we could have done a little bit better of a job. So 2 goals, 1 assist for him. He'll be happy with that. That helps the statistics out, but I do think it's time to move on from him. Hope that you've enjoyed this, and I'll talk with you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.